If you've been told that lowering the A1C takes months, that's not quite the full truth. These 5 foods can start improving blood sugar within days when used the right way. Stay to the end because food number 5 is the one most people are doing wrong. Hi, I'm Dr. Beverly Yates, licensed doctor of naturopathic medicine with over 30 years of clinical practice. In the course of my career, I've had the opportunity to help thousands of people using my Yates protocol to fix their blood sugar issues and reverse type 2 diabetes. Part of that journey is lowering that A1C and knowing what to do and why. So the A1C, as a reminder, is a 3-month average. It's not a daily average, but the blood sugar changes that you make today, these stack up as wins over time, and that still matters. These foods can work without extreme dieting. You don't need to do anything extreme or odd. It's not about perfection. It's about progress and consistency. So this is how your daily blood sugar, your glucose, impacts your A1C. The importance of this is that blood sugar over time is what's going to make the difference. So if you have normally good blood sugar levels, but you have a lot of spikes throughout your day, even though the average might be normal, you can still be in trouble with your blood sugar. And this can be confusing to people. This is why reducing those spikes, those blood sugar roller coaster moments over time, can compound quickly and add up to wins where you can lower your A1C. You need to know what to do and why, and we're going to go into that. So, to explain this a little bit more, someone can have a healthy A1C number, interestingly enough, but unhealthy fasting blood sugar numbers in the morning. The opposite is also true. Someone can have an unhealthy A1C number, like an A1C of 6.5 or higher, but they may have healthy fasting morning blood sugar numbers, which really confuses people and can be very aggravating. I get it. People are like, what the heck is going on? So, in general, keep this in mind. Fewer spikes equals a lower average, a lower A1C, and that overall will be a better A1C trend. All right, stick with me here. Let's get into it. So what we're looking for here are the 5 foods or food groups that are going to make the biggest difference for A1C improvement. Now, for this one, we're going to talk about leafy greens. These add to blood sugar buffering and insulin sensitivity. It really helps a lot when you have foods that are working with you rather than against you. Why they work. Okay, so fiber, it helps to slow the absorption of glucose. It slows the absorption of your blood sugar. It allows your insulin response to be much more normal and to push you away from insulin resistance and toward insulin sensitivity. You want that insulin receptor, that hormone, to work better on all of your cells. The other thing about the fibrous foods, the leafy greens specifically, is that they contain magnesium. That supports the action of insulin, thereby promoting insulin sensitivity, making that hormone, insulin, more useful, more helpful for A1C control. Your best options here, just to give you some ideas for leafy greens, because I know people access this from all over the world, they can include mixed greens, kale, arugula, spinach, bok choy, mustard greens, beet greens, whatever kind of greens you have access to. Leafy green vegetables are your friend when you're looking to get better control of your A1C. You want to use them strategically. You're going to pair them with protein and you want to eat them together. We're going to talk about other foods and other food groups, but just know that your leafy greens should be one of the first 2 things you eat, and they need to accompany all your meals, including breakfast. All right. So now, next, food number 2 works even if you don't want a full meal, if you're just feeling a little peckish. All right. So with food number 2, we're going to look at is eggs. Stable glucose is offered here along with appetite control. Here's the deal. Here's why eggs matter for A1C. They have a zero impact on your blood sugar. You can just eat them. No big deal, right? Eggs also help to reduce post-meal spikes later in the day. So important. They are a helpful food for sure. Best timing for most people is going to have as breakfast or part of the first meal of the day, or as a snack if your blood sugar feels unstable, or if you have a medical reason to snack, like you have a medication that requires that you eat a little something with it. This, as a snack, an egg is not going to mess up your blood sugar. In general, I've explained in other videos here on the channel why we don't want to make snacking a habit, but if you need to, an egg is a good choice. All right, so as a practical note, hard-boiled eggs in particular, they're portable, they're blood sugar safe, they're tasty. You can add all kinds of spices to them that you enjoy. It could be cayenne pepper, or it could be salt, could be ginger or cardamom, cilantro, whatever flavor profile is exciting to you, put it on there and enjoy your eggs. Now, with that in mind, because we are prioritizing blood sugar stability, right? We always want to be consistent in the foods we choose, and we need to know which foods are going to really promote that, along with helping us to feel full and satisfied and not want to overeat, because some food groups are terrible for that. All right, Food number three, that's going to be fatty fish. Now, fatty fish help us to lower inflammation, which helps you then avoid issues with insulin resistance. It helps to promote insulin sensitivity, which therefore leads to a healthier A1C number. So, to define, prediabetes is an A1C of 5.7 to 6.4. Type 2 diabetes is an A1C of 6.5 or higher. A healthy A1C is considered to be a A1C of 5.6 or lower. So, that's what we're looking for here. Why any of this matters? The omega-3s, the fats that are naturally found in fatty fish, help to improve the signaling of insulin, the hormone we care about the most when we're talking about blood sugar stability and lowering that A1C. They also help to impact overall systemic inflammation and drop it. So if you know you have inflammatory markers like high sensitivity C-reactive protein, for instance, or your sedimentation rate, other markers of inflammation are elevated, the omega-3 fatty acids are your friend, and you can eat them in fatty fish, the foods, right? So best choices here: salmon, sardines, mackerel, herring, and trout as some ideas. And there's all kinds of fish all over the world. Some places sea bass is common, etc. So look for fish that's abundant and not necessarily ones that are endangered. How often do you want to eat, you might be thinking? These fatty fish, 2 to 3 times a week would be just fine. And with this, keep in mind that canned fish is fine. It absolutely counts. If that's what you have access to and not fresh fish, or that's what is more friendly for your budget, by all means, please enjoy the canned fish. All right, so now, find this video helpful, please comment the word A1C in the comment section if you want more videos like this. Please give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel and turn those notifications on. Thanks so much. It makes a difference in getting the word out here. All right, food number four would be fermented foods. Many cultures around the world have a food they naturally ferment. Here are some ideas around that. Understand that when you eat a fermented food, it is talking straight to your gut, and your gut has all kinds of signaling, quite elegant. It goes back and forth to your tongue, your brain, your neurotransmitters, your hormones, etc. Why fermented foods are so helpful is because they support healthy gut bacteria that are linked to better glucose control. Did you know that? Your gut's microbiome makes a big difference in how well you can control your blood sugar. So you want to have those fermented foods. And some options there could be kimchi, delicious, sauerkraut, delicious. You know, as a kid and as an adult, I've had access to all kinds of fermented foods, and I have to say, they're really delightful. So I encourage you, if you have cultural fermented foods, go check it out. And here's the thing about portions, in particular, when it comes to fermented foods. A small amount goes a long way. You don't need to eat like the whole jar of kimchi or the whole jar of sauerkraut. You know, a few forkfuls, a few spoonfuls, a few tablespoonfuls is plenty. It's good enough. Eat it regularly to nourish your gut's microbiome. You never ever want to have some sort of sweetened version or otherwise altered version. Please just eat the real food. Keep it simple. Read the labels to make sure they haven't added a crazy amount of sodium. Sometimes with processed fermented foods, there's a lot of added salt, perhaps, or even salted or added sugar. Okay, so beware about that. All right, next for our list here is resistant starch as food number five to think about. This also nourishes your gut's microbiome. It blunts blood sugar spikes. It helps you stay off that blood sugar roller coaster, right? It's blunting those glucose, woo, big trip up and boom, a crash down, and the hangries and irritability to go with that. Also helps to improve your insulin response. Again, giving you insulin sensitivity and decreasing insulin resistance, which is what you want if you're dealing with blood sugar issues. Now, why resistant starch is helpful to your A1C number and can have a profound benefit like these other four quickly, it helps to slow your digestion. This is what the GLP-1 drugs and other drugs do. They slow how quickly your stomach empties your food into the next stop, which would be the small intestine. So slowing the digestion means you feel full, you feel satisfied, you feel satiated for longer, which helps you avoid overeating. That's how that works. So this is improving insulin sensitivity that way. Also helps to nourish those healthful, good gut bacteria. You want the microbiome, the flora of your gut to be happy and healthy, and they love to be able to munch on the things that come with resistant starch. Best choices of that are going to be things like lentils and black beans, chickpeas, red beans. You know, you have your white beans. You have, I've seen spotted. There's many different kinds of beans, peas, and legumes. They're all a friendly option here. Now, to think about how much and why, you generally are going to want to pair the resistant starch with protein and greens. You're going to eat it last. Be mindful of your portions. You don't need to eat buckets full for this to be good. you know? So a quarter cup to a half cup is good. If you are super hungry, maybe even a whole cup's worth would be all right, particularly if you're having that with a salad. But be mindful here. Sometimes people get to munching and crunching and snacking on things, and that's not the mindset you want. It should be part of a meal, is what I want to get across here. All right. So, with that in mind, you know, this is often a place where people make mistakes or they just plain old go wrong. They don't add resistant starch into their meals. And this can be why your A1C can just stall. It might flatten out, it might plateau, and you're like scratching your head going, why is my A1C stuck at 7.3, 8.1, 6.9? Well, that could be why. All right. So, for faster results, you want to turn all of this into a repeatable blood sugar system. Being consistent. Oh, I know. We're all human. And we struggle sometimes with being consistent, but these are part of the things that are the recipe for success with lowering that A1C quickly. Okay? So remember, friends, this is about progress, not perfection. I go into more depth about nutrition and other aspects of lowering that A1C in my book, The Yates Protocol: 5 Simple Steps to Fix Your Blood Sugar and Reverse Type 2 Diabetes. Make peace with food and never feel deprived again. The link to order is in the description for this video. All right, now let's get into the A1C lowering order. You can take a screenshot of this if this helps you, right? Or write it down. Number one, you're going to eat your protein first. That could be the fatty fish I suggested. Eggs, there's plenty of options for protein. That's going to be the first thing you eat. Second is to eat your leafy greens. Your greens in general have all that rich fiber, all those minerals and other nutrients, vitamins, and they act as a buffer. They are going to buffer both your blood sugar. They're going to buffer your cholesterol. They're promoting healthy cholesterol balances. And if you're struggling with your blood pressure, leafy greens are also your friend. Did you know? You can get a lot done with food, right? That saying of let your food be your medicine and let your medicine be your food is real. Third here on our list are the fermented foods as a side. This is gut support and signaling that's going on. You're nourishing the microbiome, the flora of your gut, so that they do the right things and help you to lower that A1C by lowering your blood sugar and buffering or muting any tendency towards blood sugar spikes and getting on the blood sugar roller coaster. And then finally, resistant starch is the last thing you'd eat with small intentional portions, a quarter cup to a half cup, maybe a whole cup if you have a meal with a substantial amount of, say, leafy greens in it, right, with protein. That could be a nice mix for a salad. Drizzled on with a little olive oil, perfection. All right. So here's why the order matters in which we eat these foods. Protein comes first. It's going to blunt that initial glucose or blood sugar rise. Next will be fiber. It slows the absorption of the carbohydrates, of the starches. Third is the fermented foods. These can support insulin signaling so that your body can do the right handoffs and feedback and help that blood sugar to stay in a healthy range. And if it's not in a healthy range, help it to get there, right? You want to anchor it. And then finally, your resistant starch feeds the gut without these big, sharp, quick blood sugar spikes that, put you up into the clouds and slam you down and you're feeling crummy along the way. This is often where feelings of hangry and irritability come from. And for those who struggle with low blood sugar hypoglycemia, that's part of the problem, right? This mix works for whatever blood sugar issues you're dealing with. All right, let's go over an example simple day. Make this quick, make it practical. Meal number one. Eggs come first, sauteed with some bok choy or spinach. Yum. Add in the flavorings and spices that you enjoy. You want to make it so it's tasty and something you're excited to eat and look forward to. Your second meal could have one of the fish in it, say the trout or the salmon or the herring. Add that with some greens, have some sauerkraut on the side. Delicious. These are all blood sugar stable recommendations here, right? Then meal number three could be your lentils, black beans, or chickpeas paired with the fish or eggs and some more greens. You can have quite a variety of things here, whatever would be appealing to you. Okay? All right, you can make this your own for sure. Okay, so now how to combine these for the faster results? You want to look at it like this. Let's keep this simple and memorable. The A1C lowering order. Protein first, greens second. Fermented foods as a side, and resistant starch is last. The protein is first. That could be your eggs or fatty fish. Greens second. Fiber buffer. Fermented foods as a side for gut support. And resistant starch last. Small intentional portions. Why the order is going to matter here? Protein first blunts the initial glucose rise. Fiber slows the absorption of any carbohydrates in your meal, and then fermented foods support insulin signaling, right? Boosting insulin sensitivity and effectiveness. Resistant starch feeds the gut without sharp spikes. All right, I wanted to be sure to just reiterate that because sometimes this information is new, and we're here on YouTube to help people learn and discover what's going to be helpful for them. Okay, if you find this video helpful, please comment the word A1C in the comments section of this video. If you want more helpful, straightforward videos like this, please give it a like, share it with someone who's concerned about these kinds of topics for their blood sugar, A1C, and diabetes, or other health concerns. Subscribe to my channel and turn your notifications on. Now, your next video to watch is the Lower A1C playlist. I have so much fun developing these playlists and your comments and feedbacks. I thank you all who've done that. It helps guide what I create next. This Lower A1C playlist pairs perfectly with everything you've learned here. In the comments, you're welcome to suggest other topics you'd like to learn about or better understand. Remember, this healing journey is always about progress, not perfection. Please take great care of yourself. Self-care is not selfish. Check out the description for this video and my channel where you can find links to join one of our programs. You can buy my book, The Yates Protocol, 5 Simple Steps to Fix Your Blood Sugar and Reverse Type 2 Diabetes. Join our community via the email list and other ways to work on your health goals. I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully that playlist is all about this topic. Please take care of yourself.